Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to Fourth and Forever. I am JR Castillo. What a game. That was fun, wasn't it? Isn't it so much more fun to watch a game when players just play well? When it doesn't feel like a chore? The Cowboys defense, for the first time this season, felt like a legitimate NFL defense. The offense was clicking. They went through George Pickens as your primary with CeeDee Lamb as your secondary, which it's how it should work. It should work to whoever is hot at the moment. They're the primary. The other guy is your secondary to distract them. And that's the focus that the Cowboys should go rest of the season. But the Cowboys defeat the Las Vegas Raiders, even though how stupid that sounds. They are the Las Vegas Raiders. They're not the Oakland Raiders. Great game by the Cowboys defense, and there's no major injuries to go through, so we don't have to sit here and talk about injuries. We're going to get right into the plays, and right to some game-changing plays. And the first time, we're going to start right here. We're going to start in the first quarter. There's 9-11. It's coming off a Cowboys turnover. You know what? Before we get into plays, time out. I do want to mention, bravo on Brian Schottenheimer for holding George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb responsible and sitting them out for the first possession of the game. Now, you can say it's just one possession. It's not really holding them responsible. It is. Because the one thing the Cowboys can't really afford to do is go 3 and out and give the ball to the defense and then let the defense screw things up. Brian Schottenheimer was willing to go 3 and out to send a message of accountability. Now, I don't know what Pickens and Lamb did. It seems to be they were late or they violated curfew. It's not that big of a deal, but it is a big deal when you just lost a teammate. You just lost a teammate. You know, and that wasn't like he was doing something wrong. That was just him, and that was his life. But when you just lost a teammate and you're immediately out here doing something dumb like violating curfew because you want to go party in Vegas, that's irresponsible, and that's not what team leaders should do. Bravo and Brian Schottenheimer at least holding them somewhat accountable and making them sit out and telling them that, hey, whatever happens, if we go down early, that's on you. That's for your inability to be leaders. So bravo. So now let's get into this. Let's get into this first highlight I want to show. Coming right off, it's 9-11 here in the first quarter. There's 9-11 to go in the first quarter. Cowboys just gave up a fumble. It's first play. And what you want to watch here is watch the pressure come from the inside. You got big Quinnin Williams and Kenny Clark on the inside. Just watch the pressure come from the inside and watch Kenny Clark as he beats this. We're going to see there's no motion, and then just immediate pressure. Quinnin Williams takes down 2 people, and him and Kenny Clark meet at the quarterback, and then you see offensive linemen just on the ground everywhere on that play. Beautiful, beautiful pressure by the Cowboys, and that is something they have not been able to do from the inside all season. And to be able to get some immediately, it's big time. So now we're going to go to the next play. And we are skipping forward a little bit. We're going to be in the second quarter, 12:47 to go. It is 2nd and 10. It's 10-6 Cowboys. And here you're going to watch Quinnin Williams. He's going to come off the snap. And just, Quinnin Williams is the best defensive tackle the Cowboys have had in a lot of years. I mean, it's probably since David Irving. This was the most dominant game from a Cowboys defensive tackle since the David Irving days, when David Irving just single-handedly took over games. And if you're not old enough to remember that, then sit down, young folks. The old people are talking and having fun because we're in our memories reminiscing. But on this play, you're going to watch Quinnin Williams come through as we're going to run the play. He does just inside power, just straight power right through the center, and Quinnin Williams gets his first sack as a Cowboy. Just the absolute power Quinnin Williams plays with, and it's just what you get with a big, meaty man just slapping meat. And that sounds ridiculously bad, I get it. That sounds like something you would pay $35.99 for every month. But in the process, it's what the line play is. The line play is just big, meaty men slapping each other's meat. I gotta find a better expression than that, don't I? You know what? We're gonna leave it fun. Let's have some fun. Cowboys won. We're having some fun. Just big meaty men slapping each other, just getting through. And Quinnin Williams just absolutely bullies his way through there. Beautiful play. Beautiful play. Now we go the very next play. So after that sack, 12:10 to go here in the quarter. 3rd and 19. It's the very next play. Again, what you're going to see is pressure. And again, watch Quinnin Williams. Quinnin Williams is down here next to James Houston. Quinnin Williams, for a big fat guy, for a big meaty man, doesn't stop moving. The guy is just constantly moving, constantly. Another thing you want to see here, and while this is important to the play, but it's not like the outcome of play, you can see the back here in the secondary, they're communicating with each other. It's something the Cowboys haven't done all season. They're communicating. You see Logan Wilson here is calling out something. Deron Bland is looking at Logan Wilson because Logan Wilson's calling a play. You have over here in the top, Kalen Carson. Kalen Carson is acknowledging it. Nobody's looking at him, but he's acknowledging. You can see his hand movement. DeMarvion Overshown, Agent Zero right here. He's hearing it. He's hearing everything. He's looking, and he's looking forward. So you see communication coming from the Cowboys in their back seven. And that is a beautiful thing to see, because how many times this year have you seen plays where the Cowboys defensive backs and their linebackers are just their hands out like, what happened? I don't know. Was it your guy? Was that my guy? Whose guy was that? It's a constant thing the Cowboys have done. Constant miscommunication. And for the Cowboys to have communication, and that leads up and lets the big meaty men up front get their business done. And let's watch the play. So we're going to hit the play button. We're going to watch this. You're going to watch Quinnin Williams. Quinnin Williams quick, and he comes around the outside. Geno steps up. Quinnin Williams is on a just absolute pursuit, and then Kalen Carson comes up, makes the good play, hits the ball, forces the ball incomplete. Cowboys get a stop. Just beautiful defensive work by the Cowboys, and I will get to more talking about that later. So now we're going to go move over to a good play, but a play that kind of angers me. And the reason why it angers me is Kenneth Murray, I believe, is quickly becoming Jeff Heath. And again, if you do not know Jeff Heath, that means you're young to the fan base, you're young to the fandom, and just stay quiet, young'uns. The old people are talking. Us elders here, we know Jeff Heath. And Jeff Heath was the constant person that every time you saw a big play happen against the Cowboys, every time, long pass, long run, the person directly behind him giving chase was always Jeff Heath. It never failed, especially in the passing game. It never failed. Jeff Heath was Donovan Wilson, but without the hitting. It's just every single time there was a big play, Jeff Heath is just trailing in the back, just like, oh my God, I screwed up again. And every time you thought Jeff Heath was done, you thought, okay, this is going to be the time where we replace Jeff Heath and somebody else comes in. What happens? Jeff Heath makes a great play, and he's just in here for life. It's just in here for life. And I think some of them were against the Raiders. A couple of them, the big ones, were against the Raiders on a Monday Night Football game. Just for life. The guy's just for life. And I think Kenneth Murray had that moment today. It was like, oh, he's never going away, is he? And it's this play, and there's two angles to this play. And the first one you're going to see, you're going to watch Kenneth Murray in the middle right there. And he's going to do a back. He's going to back drop, and you don't see much here, but you immediately assume he got beat. And we're going to watch the play. As the Raiders go in motion, Brock Bowers goes in motion. You saw Kenneth Murray sort of trail behind. And then Kenneth Murray does what Kenneth Murray has not done all season. And he tried to celebrate and almost punched Marquise Bell in the face there on the run back. But Kenneth Murray gets his hand up. He's in decent enough coverage that he can get his hand up. And guess what? You get your hand up, good things could happen. He gets his hand up, hits the ball up. Marquise Bell has the ball fly right into his hands. And then we're going to look at this from a different angle. Let's pull up the second angle of this play. And then watch, you're going to see Kenneth Murray again, right here. It's this guy right here. That's Kenneth Murray. And you can see Marquise Bell's back here. ESPN clearly has him highlighted for us. That way we understand where he's at. And now let's watch it again. When it goes and play starts, you see Kenneth Murray. He cuts inside. He gets beat, cuts back outside, and then turns back around. And this is one thing that just bothers me about Kenneth Murray is because he has the speed to where if he plays it somewhat right, he can make up any mistake he has because he has that type of speed. And then we're gonna replay this play again because watch, Kenneth Murray gets beat on this play. He is beat. He makes a bad step because he has bad linebacker steps. But he finds the play and utilizes his speed and then does something he has not done at all. Gets his hand up because he sees he's a step slower. He sees a low thrown pass, gets his hand up and gets the tip. And we're going to watch it again. As you see, Kenneth Murray, he takes a couple steps forward. He first of all, Kenneth Murray bites too hard on the little play action. Turns too far around, but he's still able to catch up, get his hands up, and causes the interception. Kenneth Murray's the Jeff Heath. He is now Jeff Heath, and he is here for life. Just get used to it, guys. This is Kenneth Murray zone, apparently. Next play. This is the dagger. This is the Cowboys going for a dagger. This is one of those FU plays, but it's not the deep pass. It is George Pickens was dominant. Let's give George Pickens the ball. And we're going to run the play. You get Fergie was in motion. Fergie stays in with the block. And there's something else I want to point out because we're going to run this play twice. Pickens with the catch. Does a great little turnaround and then does a good juke. Gets himself in the end zone. Now, when we go back, we're going to watch this play as Pickens gets a penalty for the celebration. That's something George Pickens is going to do. You would like them to not do it so much. You would like them to not commit so many dead ball penalties like that. But have fun, young fella. Have fun. But let's go back and watch this again. What I want you to see, I want you to focus on this guy right here. See, that is All-Pro left guard Tyler Smith. The Cowboys did this a few times in the game, and I've never seen this done quite like this. Down here for the Raiders is Max Crosby. He is all everything on defensive end. He is an incredible defensive end. He does everything very well. He gave the Cowboys some fits early. The Cowboys turned to this little scheme here, and what you see is you get Terrence Steele here as the right tackle. Fergie is going to chip Crosby, and he chips Crosby enough. The Cowboys bring Tyler Smith from left guard all the way out here to guard Max Crosby. And Javonte Williams also gets a nice little chunk on him. And we're going to watch this again. So watch that. Watch this goes. Fergie gets a chip, and there's Tyler Smith. It wasn't Javonte Williams. Tyler Smith comes and grabs him. But it's such an odd play. I've never seen something like that. I've never seen a team pull their left guard all the way to the right to come and get the pass rusher there. That is a nifty little addition, but it kept the Raiders off balance. When Crosby got his initial sack early, it looks like it's going to be a long day. It really did look like it's going to be a long day for the Cowboys' offensive line. But with that pulling, and the Cowboys did it the opposite side too. When Crosby lined up on the opposite side, they would bring Tyler Booker over and have him pulled and come and grab him and do some double teams that way. That was a nifty little addition, and it's something that threw the Raiders off. It threw Max Crosby off because normally you have an idea as a defensive end. You have an idea who's got you. You can either get that right tackle, you might get that guard, you might get the tight end on a chip, you might get the running back on a chip. But it's that area. You're not expecting somebody from the other side of the offensive line to pull out your way and get you. Nice addition by the Cowboys. Nice little wrinkle, and it worked out. I'd like to see them continue to try something like that, especially if you have the athlete that can do it. So let's skip forward. This was the official. I mean, it's 31-16 at this point. 11:43 to go. The Raiders have had no running game, and I will forever question the Raiders' decision and making in this day about their lack of just running the ball completely. Why they decided they just weren't going to try when every team that's tried has had success, I don't know. Maybe Dallas looked good. And a lot of it could have been just you got big meaty man and Quinnin Williams now, and the Raiders looked like they were afraid of him. They tried to stay away. And on this play, Donovan Ezuraku gets into the backfield along with a couple of the Cowboys, and the Cowboys end up getting a safety. And we're going to watch this play again. I'm going to watch it down here. As Araku just finds dude, nobody blocks him. Number 70 is supposed to try to get to him, just never touches him. Absolutely never touches him. And Ezeraku does a great job filling the hole like he's supposed to, like it's your job. You fill the hole that's there, make the running back try to make somebody miss. He didn't make anybody miss. The Cowboys met him at the goal line, got him in the end zone for a safety. Beautiful play by the defense, and it's just, and yeah, I know it's the but Raiders, and we'll talk about that in a second. Last play, and this play is just for fun because it's something that's been sorely missing. Osa Odigizua just signed a big 4-year deal in the offseason. Has been absolutely missing this season. Osa has been a non-factor. And finally, this was finally Osa making a play. And this was back-to-back plays, by the way. On third down, he almost had the sack. Here's fourth down. And we're going to watch Osa. Osa's this guy right here. He's the noticeably smaller guy on the offensive line because you have a big mountain of a human standing right next to him. Osa's the noticeably smaller guy, but he's still a very large mountain of a man himself. And when I watched the play, Osa just bullies his way through. Kenny Clark's there. Jadeveon Clowney's there. Osa finishes it off. Looks like Sam Williams there with an unnecessary shove for no reason, but listen, Sam, you do you. But I mean, that's the highlights of this game. That's a dominant effort for the Cowboys. And yeah, I know it's the Raiders. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but the Raiders' offense is bad. Their offensive line is bad. I get it. But you have to start with that. Because if they're bad against the Raiders, then there's no hope. To show good things, to show some positiveness. You have a chance now. You can build on that. Sometimes it takes beating up a bad team to gain yourself the confidence to keep moving. And after the 2 weeks the Cowboys have had, they lost a teammate. They have to try to come back together. You needed something good to go right, and something went right finally. They finally got something to go right. And that's worth all the talk in the world. Now you have to turn it around and try to do it again. You have to go beat Philadelphia. Now that's what they do next. And that's what we'll talk about in the next episode. But for now, we're going to enjoy this one, enjoy the win. They could have put up way more than 33. They probably should have put up over 40. Should have been a 40 burger for sure. Probably should have had 43, 44 in that range, maybe 47. Could have been a 50 burger, I think. They kind of laid back at the end. But it was a dominant effort when they needed a dominant effort. And I will never, ever degrade a dominant effort just because it's a yeah-but game. Great job by the Cowboys. They beat the Raiders 33-16. It was a phenomenal job by the defense. The defense looked much more in control. And we will see what they do next week. We will see if they can make a little run. If they can't make a run, then we're going to start examining who needs to be here and who doesn't. But for right now, we're going to enjoy this. Cowboys beat the Raiders. Cowboys get back on the winning track. Get some positiveness after 2 weeks of darkness. Let's go, Cowboys, and move on to Philly.